And why is his name written between the lines of the greatest scientific revolution in history? Edmund Halley was more than just a comic guy. He was the persistent friend who convinced Newton to take his ideas out of the drawer. It was the mathematician who confronted ancient records, centuries of observation, and dared to say he will return in such and such a year, by such and such a route. No modern telescopes, no computers, no simulations. With just paper, mind, and courage, he crossed oceans to draw the southern sky. He studied Earth's magnetism when it was still almost a superstition. He calculated cosmic distances in a world that barely knew how to measure itself. Halley's name is not found on grand monuments. It's in the footnotes of books, in the footnotes of science, in conversations between astronomers. But without him, gravity might have taken longer to be understood. Comets would continue to be seen as omens, and not as bodies obeying mathematical laws. Today, in this video, we're going to bring Edmund Halley out of the shadows of history. We will follow in his footsteps, his bets, and his mistakes, and you'll find out why, if the universe had a behind-the-scenes editor, that editor would have Halley's face. If this is already piquing your curiosity, imagine what's still to come. Leave a like now, not out of vanity, but because this type of content can spark the same passion for science in more people. And subscribe and leave your opinion in the comments, because the next video might change the way you understand time and space. Halley and Newton, the forgotten genius behind gravity. Halley not only financially supported Newton in publishing Principia Mathematica, he also reviewed, encouraged, and protected the ideas that explain the laws of motion. Without Halley, Newton might have been just another dusty name in history. Imagine dinner, Newton. Reclusive, distrustful, full of calculations kept as secrets on the other side. Halley, persistent, curious, almost obsessed. He goes to Newton, listens to his theories about motion, force, and gravity, and sees in them not only good work, but the backbone of a new vision of the universe. When Newton hesitates to publish, Halley not only convinces him, he finances it. He takes money out of his own pocket, assumes the financial risk, and even oversees every stage of the project. Read, correct, ask questions, provoke. It's as if he were saying all the time, the world needs to see this, even if I have to pay the price for you. The Principia was not born from a single isolated genius. It also stemmed from the courage of someone willing to bet everything on the mind of another man. While Newton was outlining the laws of the cosmos, Halley ensured that these laws would leave the paper and reach the world. And that's why, when you hear about gravity, orbits, the movement of planets, there's always a subtle shadow behind the name Newton. This shadow has a face, a history, and its name is Edmund Halley. Halley and the star maps of the southern hemisphere in a time without GPS, without modern telescopes. He crossed the world to map the southern sky. He was the first to catalog stars invisible to Europeans. His work became a reference point for centuries. Imagine spending months aboard a wooden ship, not knowing if you'll ever return, just to look at the sky from a place where no one you know has ever been. That's what Halley did when he set off for the island of St. Helena. At night, while many saw only darkness, he saw untouched territory, unknown constellations, new patterns, stars that did not exist on maps of Europe. With limited instruments and precarious conditions, Halley began to sketch a new sky. Each point marked on the paper was a small rebellion against ignorance. He noted positions, brightness, alignments. He transformed that strange firmament into something comprehensible, navigable, translatable into numbers. When he returned, he brought neither gold nor spices. I brought something far more valuable, a map of the invisible, a star atlas of the southern hemisphere that would serve as a basis for navigators, astronomers, and scholars for a long time, for centuries. Anyone who looked at that patch of sky was, unknowingly, seeing through the eyes of Edmund Halley. He not only contemplated the universe, he organized it. It gave the southern hemisphere a place in the history books, and the sky a little more order. Theories about the solar wind, the Earth's magnetic field, and even the age of the world. Halley believed that the Earth's magnetic field reversed over the course of millennia. At a time when many still saw the planet as something fixed, immutable, created ready-made, he dared to imagine the Earth as a constantly changing body. with invisible forces swirling within it. He studied compasses, observed deviations, and compared old accounts. He realized that magnetic north was not an eternal point, but a slow, wandering traveler. And from that, he suggested something daring for his time, that the magnetic field could reverse over time. But Halley didn't stop there. He looked at the layers of the Earth as if they were pages of an ancient book. Using salt deposits, sediments, and geological features, he attempted to estimate the age of the planet, not over thousands of years, but on a much larger scale than religious traditions accepted. It was as if he were trying to read the code of the universe with the eyes of the future, sensing what would only be confirmed centuries later, with technology he could never have imagined. While many debated how the world began, Halley asked another question: how long has he been changing? And in this silent movement, he was approaching the essence of science. Don't accept pre-prepared answers, but to pursue hidden patterns, even when no one else is looking for them. The universe is ancient, mysterious, and cruel to forgotten geniuses. Edmund Halley gave the world tools to understand the heavens, but it only received a mention on a comet. His name has endured through the centuries, but almost always devoid of context. People point to the sky and say, "Look, Halley's comet," without imagining that brilliance carries with it the story of a man who outsmarted Newton, who deciphered orbits, who mapped invisible stars, who dared to measure time on Earth. Halley didn't get any statues erected in his honor. He didn't become a popular myth, and he isn't remembered in catchy phrases. It lives on the fringes, in the minute credits of physics textbooks, in the footnotes of the history of science, in small paragraphs that almost no one reads. It's ironic, the man who showed that the universe is governed by perfect cycles, he was condemned to the most common cycle among geniuses, to be fundamental, and at the same time, forgotten. But as the comet keeps returning, it's as if the cosmos itself refuses to erase it. With each return, the universe whispers, "You didn't remember him, so I remembered him for you." And today, here in this video, you broke that cycle of forgetfulness. You're not just hearing about a comet, you are restoring Edmund Halley to his rightful place, not only in the sky, but in the conscience of those who dare to look up and ask themselves, who made this possible? Today, you reclaimed a part of your history, and if this video made sense to you, if at any point you've looked at the sky in a different way, if Halley stopped being just a comet's name and became a real person in your mind, then click like and subscribe to the channel. It's not just a button, it's a way of saying, I want more stories like this. I want more science told with soul. Share this video with that person who always talks about the universe, stars, and mysteries, because maybe no one has told her that yet. And if you've made it this far, you're already a part of it. From now on, every time someone says Halley's Comet, you'll remember the true story behind that name. It's nearby. The next video in the playlist will take you even deeper, to another genius, hidden in the shadows, and after that, you'll never look at the universe or humanity the same way again. The next one on the playlist will show you a scientist who went even further and was even more ignored. Someone whose ideas were too big for their time and painfully perfect for ours. If Halley's story already shook your worldview, the next named story will make you question everything you thought you knew about destiny, genius, and oblivion. There's a name you've heard before, but perhaps never understood. A name associated with a comet, but one that carries the weight of discoveries that changed the way we look at the sky. Edmund Halley. Do you remember the glow that cuts through the night and disappears? But he doesn't remember the man who dared to say, he'll be back. Halley realized that 3 apparitions, separated by centuries, were the same visitor in orbit. He staked his own name on a promise that would only be fulfilled after his death, and the universe fulfilled its promise. But Halley was much more than just a comet. While kings fought over crowns and Europe debated dogmas, he crossed the ocean to map stars that the North had never seen. He drew the southern hemisphere with the patience of someone who knows the sky also has geographies, and he found something unsettling in them. The stars are not fixed, they move slowly, as if the firmament itself were breathing. It was Halley who knocked on the door of a prisoner named Isaac Newton and financed the book that would explain the movement of everything, the Principia. He paid for the printing, proofread it, and insisted, without him, Perhaps gravity would have remained a whispered suspicion. When the sun's shadow swept across England, Halley traced its path with unprecedented precision and summoned an entire country to look up. And anticipating a future he would not see, he left instructions for measuring the distance to the sun, using the passage of Venus a manual for generations that were not yet born. At sea, he drew invisible lines on the map, the Earth's magnetism as a secret compass. On Earth, he imagined improbable clocks, the salt of the oceans, the slow mark of time. Always the same impulse, to transform mystery into method, wonder into measure. So, when someone says Halley and thinks only of a comet's trail, remember, the only trace is the signature. The text is the universe rewritten by a man of paper, ink, and courage. This is the invitation. For the next few minutes, you're not just going to watch a comet. It's going to enter the orbit of a genius. And when you leave, nothing in heaven or inside you will be the same. Today, you're going to spend the next few minutes inside the mind of Edmund Halley. And when it comes out, nothing in the universe will seem the same. You're not just going to hear facts. It will explore the doubts, risks, and gambles of a man who dared to converse with the cosmos using calculations scribbled by candlelight. You will see the comet not as a streak of light in the sky, but as a recurring signature, a message from time. You'll discover how Halley staked his own name on a prediction that would only be confirmed after his death, and how, behind the scenes of history, he pushed giants like Newton into the light while remaining in the shadows. In the next few minutes, every star you see in the images, every trajectory, every celestial map, it will carry a trace of his thinking. You'll understand why the sky isn't just beautiful. It's structured, calculable, almost intimate. If you've always looked at the universe with wonder, today you'll look at it with something more. The strange feeling that, somehow, a man from centuries ago is guiding your eyes. London, 1680. A young man of only 22 years old is sent to the island of St. Helena to map the stars of the southern hemisphere. While many his age had never left their own neighborhoods, Edmund Halley crossed the ocean in a fragile ship, carrying with him only rudimentary instruments, paper, ink, and an obsession to understand the sky. St. Helena was an isolated spot in the middle of nowhere. Strong winds, damp nights, solitude. But for Halley, this was not exile. It was a natural observatory. Every night, he would go upstairs, set up his equipment, adjust his lenses, battle the cold and the fog, and begin to draw, star by star, constellation by constellation. An entire hemisphere, unknown to Europeans, is taking shape before the eyes of a 22-year-old boy. While the world slept, Halley recorded what no one else saw, and with each point marked on the paper, he understood something disturbing. The sky was not a static ceiling. It was a system in motion, a gigantic, precise, and silent clock. While his contemporaries were preoccupied with wars and religion, Halley gazed at the heavens. But what he was about to discover, no one could have predicted. While kings fought over territories on Earth, he disputed millimeters of precision in the angle of a star. While sermons echoed in churches, the sound Halley respected most was the silence of the night, that silence in which you only hear the pencil scratching on paper and the invisible ticking of the universe. Each night of observation was a gamble against time itself. He noted positions, compared old records, and looked for patterns where everyone else saw only chance. And then, amidst numbers, dates, and trajectories, something began to repeat itself, an old visitor, a ray of light that would appear, disappear, and return centuries later. Halley realized what no one else had dared to consider. Perhaps that comet wasn't a harbinger of the end, but an old acquaintance, returning at perfect intervals. At that moment, without knowing it, Edmund Halley was opening a door. On one side, fear and superstition. On the other hand, there's the radical idea that even the most terrifying mysteries of the sky obey laws that can be understood. Who was this man? How did he predict a comet before the technology even existed?